Hello and Assalamu alaikum, everyone. I am Kashif Kamran and I welcome you to the AAA March 2025 mock debrief. Today is the day 2 of this debrief, and I will be investigating today the section B of this paper, where the focus will be on question number 16, 17, 18, and 19, which is basically the 30 marks question. Part A, Part B, Part C, and Part D. I've already covered the Section A, the ODQs, in my day 1 of this debrief. Now, just before starting the investigation into the question around the Jambo communication, let's see the time management. I did give you the time management for the Section A when I did that on the day 1, but I need to focus now on the time management for the Section B, which is the 70% of the paper. For the section B of the paper, on the right-hand side, you can see you have 126 minutes for the 70 marks. Now, how would you divide this 126 minutes into the 30 marks question, then a 20 marks, then a 20 marks question? For the question number 1 for 30 marks, you will be allocating 54 minutes. Then for the question 2 of 20, you will give 36 minutes, and the same time will be given to the question number 3 of 20 marks, another 36 minutes. That's the time management we need to stick to in the section B. So please remember the total time you have, and of the total time, the time you have for the 30 marks question. Now just let's open up the practice platform. I hope you can all see the practice platform on your screen. Please confirm that, where you can see the AA pre-March 25 mock exam. Okay, thank you for that confirmation. Okay, now we know the 30 marks question. They are basically referred as 16, 17, 18, 19 because the first 15 questions is OTQ. So when you check the navigator, in the navigator, you will be looking it as the question number 16. You see the navigator, section B, and in section B, you have 16, 17, 18, and 19. That's basically the part A, part B, part C, part D of the question, which is in front of you for 30 marks, which is the Jambo communications. Okay, now when we look at the first question, ISA 300, Planning and Audit of Financial Statement, provides guidance to auditor. Planning and audit involves establishing the overall audit strategy for the engagement and developing an audit plan. Adequate planning benefits the audit of the financial statement in several ways. Required, explain the importance of planning, and you have 5 marks. Now, already in my previous webinars I have done for AA on my YouTube channel, and the recent video I did for the March 25 exams, that how to prepare AA in 30 days, which is on my YouTube channel, I did put a list of the favorite questions, which comes as knowledge questions in section B. When you do the recent past papers, like you do the 7 to 8 recent past papers, you will see that there is a lot of repetition in terms of the knowledge questions which comes in the AA paper. And one example is in front of your screen. You must have seen this question multiple times in the recent past paper. Explain the importance of audit planning. It's a 5 marks question, and this is all knowledge. You need not to look into the case study because this has no connection with the case study. The marking scheme for this question or knowledge questions is always 1 mark. So if it is a 5 marks question, you will be writing 5 points to fetch your 5 marks. Now, what is the definition of 1 point? Is it like 1 sentence? No, because the question is saying explain. The question is not saying list. If the question says list, we could put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we put a bullet and we wrap up the answer. You must have seen questions like list 4 contents of an audit engagement letter. A question like such comes in the previous papers as well. List 4 contents of the audit engagement letter. That's list. but this is explain. I'll just give you one glimpse of what explain means, and then you will make up the answer yourself because this is just a knowledge area. So you put the heading importance of audit planning. Because it's a computer-based exam, so you can make it bold and underline to make it more presentable because these are options available to you. Now you write under, you need to write 5 importance of audit planning. Number 1, the audit planning helps the auditor in identifying risky areas at the start of the audit within the financial statements through the use of analytical procedures, whereby the auditor become alert of potential whereby the auditor becomes alert of the potential areas of misstatements, and this helps the auditor in the overall conduct of audit in terms of where to focus the attention, on. So one of the benefit of audit planning is that it helps you analyze the risky areas in the financial statement. It makes you alert before the start of the audit, the areas where you need to focus on. Now, this is the length of a 1-mark answer. So this is one benefit of an audit planning. Then you go to the next and you put a bullet, and then you write another one. Further, audit planning helps in identifying the resources which will be utilized in the conduct of audit, as planning helps to identify the risky areas, and accordingly resources can be deployed to risky areas like the audit managers or seniors, and the juniors can be allocated to non-risky areas. So audit planning also helps you with resource allocation. You can allocate resources, you can allocate your managers and seniors to the risky areas you've already identified at the planning stage, and you can allocate your juniors to the non-risky areas. In this way, you go down writing the number 3, number 4, number 5, but look at the length. Explain the importance. So you're explaining the importance, and this is the length of explaining. So in the same way, you write number 3, number 4, number 5, and you wrap up the answer. The mistake the student do with knowledge questions, though they are scoring opportunities, is either they're writing like bullets when you need to put them in paragraph, or they're writing less. For example, for 5 marks, they're writing 2 or 3. 5 marks means 5 points, and every point means at least writing as much as I have written on the screen. Is everyone clear? Will you be able to wrap up the remaining 3 points of explain the importance? Please don't lose marks in knowledge questions. You should excel on knowledge questions. And if you do the recent papers, you will have a list of repetitive knowledge questions. And also from my AA 30-day strategy video, which was put on the YouTube. Is everyone clear? Please put me a message quickly so we can move on to the next question. This was basically the question number 16 from Jambo Communication. Okay, thank you so much for that confirmation. Let's move on to the question number 17. Okay, now we're getting the first question which links to the case study. You know, this is a favorite question in section B, asking you audit risk and audit responses. The examining team wants 8 audit risk, not 9, not 7, 8, and the response to each risk at the planning stage for Jambo communication. Now, a lot of times the student either write more. When the examining team is asking 8, they will write 10. That's very bad. And writing less, that's also very bad. You need to write definite 8. Now, in the scenario, which I will be reading, there will be more than 8. You need to choose the 8 on which you can write. So there might be 11 risk, there might be 12 risk in the scenario. You need to choose the 8 you can write on for the 16 marks answer. So I'll just draft 2 to 3 risk for you and the responses so that you're familiar with the way to write and the way to read and the way to investigate them. Let's open up the discussion. Today, date is the 1st of July. So we are standing on the 1st of July. Jambo Communication, or Jambo, is a large mobile phone company which operates a network of stores across Africa. So it's a mobile phone company basically, and they're having stores across Africa. The company year end is 30th of September. So the year end of the company is 30th of September, and we're standing on the 1st of July. So we are at the planning stage. You are a manager at Pua and Company. Jambo is a new client, and you're currently planning the audit with the audit manager. So Jambo is a new client. Control C, and we're getting the first risk. And we copy paste it here. Jambo is a new client, and we develop this risk. Jambo is a new client. This means that the audit firm will have less knowledge of business. Yes, I simply use the Control C and Control V, right, currently in front of you. I simply press the Control C and then I put the Control V in the audit risk column. That's how I did it just now. So I just choose the statement, Sumaya, just like this. Jambo is a new client. I highlight the statement on the keyboard. I press Control C and I came here on the audit risk side and I press Control V. This means that the audit firm will have less knowledge of the business in the first year audit, which will increase the detection risk for Pua and Company. Moreover, there is an additional risk. There is an additional risk in the opening balances because I have not audited the last year. Someone else have audited the last year. So there is a risk in the there is an additional risk in the opening balances, which could be wrongly brought forward by the management and could be misstated Now, this is 1 mark. Whenever you get a new audit client in AA, a new audit client have 2 issues. Number 1, a detection risk for Pua and Company because they have less knowledge of business. And second is the opening balances because we have not been the auditor the last year. Someone else was doing the audit. So I need to be skeptical on the opening balances, right? Okay, thank you so much, in Anisu, for that. So in exam, it's a bit different from Control C and Control V. So you have a copy paste option given in the exam paper, right? So you can use that. But is everyone understanding what I'm writing for audit risk currently? Opening balances and detection risk is not giving you 2 marks. Opening balances and detection risk is giving you 1 mark. So detection risk, number 1, and opening balances risk number 2, this will altogether give you 1 mark because that's one statement. Now, what's the response of the auditor? Because it's a first year audit. How would I ensure that I reduce my detection risk? So you write poor and company should allocate more senior resources, should allocate more senior resources to the conduct of the first year audit to ensure that detection risk is reduced to an acceptable level, So in the first year audit, we normally take a experienced team because the experienced team will do audit better. So in the first year audit, we can never take juniors more. We need to take more senior people into the team so that the detection risk can be taken down to an acceptable level. And you can write that we need to verify the opening balances to ensure they are rightly brought forward. But you only need to write one response. Either you write the response for detection risk or you write the response for opening balances. You only need to write one response. But in the audit risk side, you are writing detection risk and opening balances because that is one answer. At times, I've seen students writing opening balances as a separate risk and detection risk as a separate risk, and they thought we'll get 2 marks. You will never get 2 marks, you'll get one. So that's one way of writing the answer. Number two, okay, you have been provided the following notes from the audit partner following his meeting with the finance director. The draft financial statement shows a profit of 9.4 million and revenue of 15.1 million. So you have been given the numbers of profit and revenue. You know why these numbers are given to you? Any idea? Why the numbers are given to you show a profit of 9.4 million and a revenue of 15.1 million? Why these numbers are given to you in a planning question? Anyone? What's the answer? Why these numbers are given to you? For what purpose? Waiting for your answers. These numbers are given to us for determining whether something is material or immaterial. Okay, welcome back, everyone. There was some internet issues. I hope you can now hear me back again, all of you. Please confirm that. And you can see the practice platform in front of your screen. Okay, so I was asking you a question. Why the profit before tax and revenue number is given to you in a planning question? What's the reason for that? Do anyone knows the answer? What's the reason? The reason is that we need to use this number where possible. No, Bashir, that's the wrong answer. Why have we given the profit number? Why have we given the revenue number? To judge whether something is material or not. Do you know the materiality threshold? Something is material if it is 5 to 10% of the profit, and something is material if it is half to 1% of the revenue. Do you know these thresholds? And 1 to 2% of the total assets. So you know the range of materiality for profit, 5 to 10%. You know the range of materiality for revenue, half to 1%, right? We'll see if we need to use these numbers of profit and revenue and where. Okay, let's go down. I need to write another two risk for you. During the year, the company has spent $2.2 million on developing several new products. So company has spent $2.2 million on developing the new products. And you know ICE 38 is a very favorite parameter of your examiner. Some of these are in the early stage of development, while other are nearing completion. So some of the products are at the early stage of development, and some of them are nearing completion. And how much have you spent on development? 2.2 million. The finance director has confirmed that all projects are likely to be successful and intends to capitalize 2.2 million. So he intends to capitalize the 2.2 million because he believes all projects will be successful. Now, whose claim is that? Who is claiming that? Who is claiming that all projects will be successful? And who is claiming that we need to capitalize 2.2 million? The finance director. Do we trust him as auditors? Do we trust management? Is the management the one involved in window dressing? Is management the one involved in fraudulent financial reporting? What if he's capitalizing the 2.2 million to basically overstate the intangible assets and to overstate the profit and understate the expenses? And what if that some of the products have not met the criteria given in I-38? And what if that some of the products, the cost you have incurred on some of the products should be expensed out rather capitalized? So you need to be skeptical. If you are skeptical and you're looking at the management, you will never agree with management. And that is the best approach to investigate or detect a risk in the AA paper. You need to be skeptical. You need to think negative. And when you think negative, you will realize what's the mistake in $2.2 million, that there could be some products which have not met the criteria of I-38, and some of the development costs should be expensed out rather than capitalized. And in that way, you are overstating your intangible assets and understating your expenses. Let's see how to write it. And I need to give you one lesson here. See how we write the answer. $2.2 million. Company has spent $2.2 million on developing several new products. Control C, Control V. The company has spent $2.2 million on developing several new products with finance director intends to capitalize all of the $2.2 million, claiming that all products will be successful. All products will be successful. Full stop, and you write after. There is a risk that some of the products do not meet the criteria of capitalization mentioned in IAS 38, and therefore should be expensed out. There is a risk that some of them might not meet the criteria. So auditor needs to check it when you write the response. And some of them might be expensed out. Thus, if the full amount is capitalized, it will lead to overstatement of intangible assets, understatement of expenses, and overstatement of profit. Full stop. I have been given this message to my students that when you're writing the audit risk answer from an accounting treatment, the first audit risk was a detection risk. That was nothing to do with the accounting treatment. But the second one relates with an accounting treatment, with an accounting issue, ICE 38. So see what three things are essential. I copy pasted that company has spent $2.2 million and the director wants the $2.2 million to be capitalized. Then I said there is a risk that some products do not meet the criteria and some products should be expensed out rather capitalized. This is the point where I'm writing about the risk. What is the risk? That some of the cost should be expensed out when it is capitalized. That's the risk. Then I wrote that what will be understated and what will be overstated. That's the impact. There are two things when you're writing an answer for audit risk. One is R and one is I. One is risk, one is impact. This is for the accounting treatments. This is not for detection risk. R and I. What's the risk and what's the impact? If you miss any one of them, you will be scoring 0.5 marks out of 1. So you need to tell what is the risk. The risk is that some of the cost should be expensed out will be capitalized. So that's like a wrong recognition. That's like a wrong capitalization. That's a risk. And what that risk is leading to, that risk is leading to an impact. What is the impact? A misstatement. What is the misstatement? Something understated, something overstated. So risk and impact. Please remember that, right? So risk is what will go wrong, and impact is the misstatement. What will be understated and what will be overstated. I hope you're clear with that. Now you write a response. The auditor will review the breakdown of $2.2 million spent on development of the new products and will test the amount spent versus the criteria of IAS 38 to ensure that there is any cost which should be expensed out. The auditor will review the breakdown of $2.2 million, the cost you have incurred on the new product development, and will test the amount versus the IAS 38 criteria to ensure that is there any cost which should be expensed out. Something like that. So response has to be very concise. Risk has to be elaborated. Will you remember the two attributes of an audit risk? R and I, risk and impact. So risk is what will go wrong, like you will capitalize something when something needs to be expensed out. That is what may go wrong. And what is the impact? The impact is the misstatement, what will be understated and what will be overstated. Let me do one more for you. Jambo purchases goods from a supplier in Central Africa, and these goods are shipped to the company's central warehouse. The goods are usually in transit for 2 weeks, and the company record the goods when received. That's one risk. So you're purchasing the goods from Africa, and normally the goods are in transit for up to 2 weeks. The company records for the goods when they are received, which is very right. But can a company do mistake here? Can a company do a fraudulent financial reporting here? Even though they're claiming that they only record for goods when they're received. What mistake can they do? What fraudulent financial reporting can they do, despite the fact they're claiming that we record the goods when they are received, which is the right treatment? What can go wrong? What can go wrong with it? The goods are usually in transit for 2 weeks, and the company correctly records the goods when received. Control C, you bring it down here on your word processor, and you think, what can go wrong with this? Despite the fact the company is saying that we record when we receive, which is good. Full stop, and you write the statement. Yes, there could be some cutoff issues, right? The goods are usually in transit for 2 weeks, and the company correctly records the goods when received. However, there is a risk that the company record the goods early, that is when they are not yet received, or they have recorded the goods received after the year end into the previous year, into the prior year. So you received the goods after the year end, after the 30th of September, but you recorded them at the 30th of September, but you recorded them into the prior year. So either you have not received the goods and you have recorded them. This will overstate the inventory, and that is the purpose of the management. Or you have received the goods in the next year, that is after the 30th of September 20x5, for example, on the 4th of October, on the 5th of October. but you're recording them on the 30th of September. Thus, inventory could be overstated. Inventory could be overstated, full stop. So you can overstate the inventory. Impact, risk. So I'm giving you the risk, I'm giving you the impact. So both things are present there. Now, what can the auditor do? The auditor needs to perform detailed procedures on inventory cutoff, uh, prior and post year end. So you will just like verify 7 days before the year end and 7 days after the year end, just to ensure that any goods received after the year end are not recorded on 30th of September, and any goods received prior to the 30th of September were in fact received. It's not that you didn't receive them and you recorded them. So the auditor needs to perform a detailed procedures on inventory cutoff prior and post year ends uh, to ensure they are recorded correctly by matching the goods with their GRNs, good receiving notes. So if you have a good receiving note which gives an evidence that you have received the goods, then only you can record them. So if you are saying I've recorded a good on the 27th of September, you have a good receiving note to claim that yes, they were received on 27th of September. But if you have recorded a goods on 27th of September and you don't have a good receiving note, that means you have not yet received them, and that means the inventory is overstated. So auditor needs to assure that he's applying the cutoff. He's ensuring that if the management is claiming that the goods are recorded, they have an actual good receiving note in place. Is everyone clear with the way to write the risk? So are you getting the two important attributes of writing a risk answer? What are two important attributes of writing a risk answer? Number one is, what are two things I've just guided you when you're writing the risk answer? What two things you need to focus on? One is a risk, one is a impact. R and I. And in the impact, what are you thinking? You're thinking the misstatement. Okay, there is just an electricity breakdown. So I'll just connect as quickly as the electricity comes back. So just hold for a few minutes. Okay, I hope you can all hear me. Really sorry for that disconnection. So are you getting the message that when you're writing the audit risk, what are two important things you need to keep in mind when you're writing the audit risk? Please give me quick answers for that. What are two important things you will keep in mind when you're writing the audit risk answer? One is the risk and one is the impact, right? And what is the impact basically? The impact is the misstatement. What will be understated and what will be overstated. You need to write it. A lot of time I've seen students writing, thus the financial statements could be misstated. For example, there is a disclosure and the disclosure is not given. Now, for the disclosure, I can say that the financial statements could be misstated because for a disclosure, I cannot say under an overstatement. That is true for a disclosure. But if I'm talking about inventory, if I'm talking about intangible assets, if I'm talking about payables, if I'm talking about receivables, they're all account balances. So I need to think about what is understated and what is overstated. But yes, if I am talking about a disclosure, then only I can say financial statements could be materially misstated. Is that clear to all of you? Are you getting a sense of writing an audit risk and audit response answer? So you need to complete the 8 risks and you need to complete the 8 responses. I've already given you uh, 3 of them. Okay, let's move on to the next question. The next question from this Jambo Corporation, communication, sorry, is to write substantive procedures. We know substantive procedure is a favorite area of the AA examiner, and you need to write the substantive procedures to confirm the director bonus payments included in the financial statement. So you need to confirm the director's bonus payments. How many marks we have for substantive procedures on director bonus payment? We have a total of 4 marks. So how many substantive procedures are we writing in? We're writing in 4 substantive procedures. Now, I always tell my students that when you're writing a substantive procedure on anything, there must be a paragraph about director's bonus payment. Let's see where is the paragraph on director's bonus payment. You go down and you get a paragraph here, right over here. Just let's read this paragraph in pink. During the year, directors have each been paid a significant bonus, and they have been included in the wages and salary. Number 2, separate disclosure of the bonus is required by the local legislation. So, what is the auditor looking for? Firstly, the auditor is looking for that this is a significant bonus and the bonus is being paid to the directors. So, first of all, there must be an approval of the significant bonus. So, I need to review the board minutes to confirm the approval of the significant bonus and the underlying reason why the directors have been given a significant bonus. Has there been a good performance of the company? What is the basis of giving them the significant bonus? That all will be coming from the board minutes. Then it has been included in wages and salary. So what I can do is that I can just take a schedule of the director's bonus. I can just cast the schedule. I can ensure there is no arithmetical accuracy in the calculation of the director's bonus. So I can just review the breakdown of director's bonus from the schedule of director bonus. I can do the arithmetical accuracy of the director bonus. And separate disclosure is required by the local legislation. I need to review the notes to the account, notes to the financial statement, sorry, to confirm that the disclosure has been made and it's in line with the local legislation. So that sort of things I need to do. And then I need to make the 4th procedure. Okay, just let's keep writing the way you need to go with procedures, right? Number 1, procedure you will be writing is review the board minutes of Jambo to confirm the approval of the significant bonus paid to the directors and the underlying basis of rewarding the bonus. Okay, I will then review the schedule of director bonus. I will review the schedule of the director bonus. Review the schedule of director's bonus to confirm the breakdown and to ensure there is no arithmetical arithmetical errors in the in the casting of the schedule to confirm accuracy. So I've confirmed the approval, I've confirmed the accuracy. Now I will review the payments. I will review the bonus payments made to directors from the bank statements to ensure that the amount reflected the amount reflected to ensure that the amount reflected in the bonus schedule is paid. It's not that the bank statement shows me a different amount and the schedule shows me a different amount. So I want to ensure that if the schedule is saying $1 million, there is a $1 million disbursement from the bank statement as well. So review the bonus payments made to directors from the bank statements to ensure that the amount reflected in the bonus schedule is paid. No overpayments or no underpayments. Probably no overpayments. And lastly, review the notes to the financial statements. Review the notes to the financial statements to confirm the adequacy of the disclosure confirm the adequacy of the bonus disclosure given in notes in line with local legislation. In line with local legislation. So see my procedures. We were given a significant bonus, so I have to review, I have to confirm the approval. There was a disclosure requirement, so I'll confirm the disclosure requirement. Uh, and they have been included in the wages and salary. So I will look at the schedule of the bonus payments and I'll cast the schedule of the bonus payment at how much is the total bonus payment. And then definitely it's a bonus payment. So it has to be paid from the bank statements. So I look at that sentence given in the case study and I converted that to my 4 procedures. Every procedure is starting with action, review, 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 review. A procedure cannot be without action, like recalculate, like discuss, like obtain. You need to use words to demonstrate a procedure. And every procedure should have a reason, like to confirm what, like to confirm. Then again, to ensure. And lastly, to confirm. So a procedure without to confirm or a procedure without to ensure means your procedure does not have a purpose. So that will be 0.5 marks. And every procedure should have a subject matter. Like review, what are you reviewing? You are reviewing the board minutes of Jambo. Subject. Review, what are you reviewing? Schedule of director bonus. Schedule of the director bonus. Review, what are you reviewing? You're reviewing the bonus payments made to the bank statement. Review what? You're reviewing the notes to the financial statement. So every procedure should have a subject. If you are recalculating, what are you recalculating? If you are reviewing, what are you reviewing? If you are discussing, what are you discussing? Ask a question to yourself. Firstly, start a procedure from an action. Then ask a question to yourself. Review what? Recalculate what? Discuss what? And then if I'm discussing something, why? If I'm reviewing something, why? If I'm recalculating something, why? Why means the reason. So if you ask a question, what and why, to yourself, you can make 100% accurate procedures in the F8 paper, in the AA paper. Is everyone fine with the 4 marks procedure on your screen? So we should move on to the last part of this question from Jambo. Communication. Is everyone sound and clear? So will you ask a question to yourself when you're writing the procedure? Anisa, you need to do it yourself and you need to send it me for review if you are part of my regular student. Because this is just a mock debrief where I need to give you a guidance, not a complete answer. I just need to tell you the way to write and you can then carry on. But is everyone clear with substantive procedures? Will you ask a question to yourself, what and why, so that you write the subject matter and you write the purpose of a procedure clearly in the exam paper? Is everyone sound? Okay, let's move on then. The last part. of the Jambo communication. Okay, the last part, interestingly, is on reporting. The audit of Jambo is nearly complete. So now the examiner is telling us that you started from a planning stage, but the audit is now nearly complete. So he's bringing you to the completion stage. And the audit report is to be signed next week, just like a reporting question you get in the AA paper. Your work discovered that the warranty provision of $0.2 million should be increased to $0.9 million because of the increase in the claims of customer. So the warranty provision recorded by the management is 0.2 million, but the auditor wants the provision to increase to 0.9 million. The director are refusing to make the adjustment. So is this a disagreement you have with management? They are refusing to make the adjustment. So how much adjustment is needed in the financial statement? Management has recorded 0.2 and the auditor wants the recording to be 0.9. So how much additional provision should be recognized? Tell me, how much additional provision should be recognized? 0.7 million. So when we find the materiality, will we find materiality of 0.2, 0.9, or 0.7 in a reporting question? In a reporting question, which value will be used to find the materiality? 0.2, 0.9, or 0.7? Waiting for your answers, all of you. You are in the live class, right? So that's the benefit of a live class if you can answer in. 0.7, because in a reporting question, we always find materiality of the misstatement. So misstatement is 0.7, right? So management is refusing to make that adjustment. So discuss the issue and describe the impact on the report if the issue remains unresolved. So how many marks we have for this? 5. So I have to write 5 points. Discuss the issue. Number 1, what's the issue? Then describe the impact on the report. Sometimes the students are in so hurry that they only write the impact on the report that the auditor will issue a qualified opinion, full stop. How would you get 5 marks? Discuss the issue and describe the impact. So I will write the answer this way. I'll say issue and I'll say impact on report. I'll give it 2 headings. So I'll say discuss the issue and impact on report. Right? Let's go down, building up the answer. Under the issue. The issue relates to a disagreement between the auditor and the management on the recognition of the additional warranty provision. The auditor wants the warranty provision to be increased by $0.7 million, whereas the management is reluctant. The management is refusing to do so. The management is refusing to do so. Right? The management is refusing to do so. The management is refusing to do so. Thus, if the warranty provision is not increased by $0.7 million, it will understate the expenses and liability and will overstate the profit, and thus the financial statements will be misstated. So I'm discussing the issue. What's the issue? The issue is a disagreement between the auditor and the management The auditor wants the warranty provision to increase by 0.7 million. The management is saying no. And for that reason, the financial statements are misstated. Now comes the impact on the report. The impact on the report number third, the $0.7 million, $0.7 million is, you will divide the $0.7 million with the profit. How much is the profit of the company? 9.4 million. So you will divide 0.7 million with the profit, which is 9.4 million. So that is 7.44% or 7.45%. $0.7 million is 7.45% of the profit before tax and is therefore material to the financial statements. Next, if the material to the financial statement, as the directors are refusing to adjust the financial statements and the financial statements are materially misstated, the auditor will issue a qualified opinion. The auditor will issue a qualified opinion, that is the except for opinion, on the financial statements. In the last paragraph, the qualified opinion will be followed by a basis of qualified opinion in which the auditor will explain the issue and reasons why qualified opinion is given. Full stop. Look at the 5 bullets on your screen. Look at the order. I first discussed the issue, and then I informed examiner that because of the issue, what will be understated and what will be overstated, not in the audit report, but what will be understated and what will be overstated in the financial statement, just like you're writing a risk answer. Then I came to the report. Then I found the materiality, step number 1. Once I know that this is material, I concluded this is material. I got 1 mark. Then I said because the directors are refusing to adjust something material, now the financial statements are materially misstated. I didn't use this word materially misstated when I was writing the word issue because I have not calculated the materiality. I only use the word misstated. But now I use the word materially misstated. And then you will issue a qualified opinion because it's a material misstatement. And after the qualified opinion, you will write the basis of qualified opinion in which you will tell why have you issued a qualified opinion. This is a 5 marks answer. At times I've seen students that in a reporting question, which is a bonus opportunity in the AA paper, it's all normally come for 5 marks. You don't know how to get 5 marks. Either you're writing just a qualified opinion or you're finding the materiality. I've seen students writing not more than 3 sentences or 3 points. How would you get 5 marks? Discuss the issue is normally very bad with students. They're focusing on impact on report. They just write, okay, this is 7.45% of the profit. Everyone will find that out. Everyone will think, okay, this is a qualified opinion. Very less student write about basis of qualified opinion. And very less student write about the issue. So what the student do most in the double exam is this. Look at this. Look at the blue highlighted paragraph. That is what you do most. So you will get 2 out of 5. Then why students struggle to pass the AA paper? Only because they're not writing in the way you should have written. Now today in this question on Jambo, I told you that when you are explaining the importance of audit planning, it's a knowledge question. You need to write 5 importance, and every importance should be like 2 to 3 sentences. Then I explained you audit risk and responses. I told you that for every risk, you have to think about 2 things: risk and impact. What may go wrong and what is the misstatement. Then I told you that you need to write substantive procedures. And for every substantive procedure, there has to be an action like review, recalculate, discuss. And for every substantive procedure, you need to ask what. What is the subject matter? If I am reviewing something, what am I reviewing? If I'm recalculating something, what am I recalculating? If I'm discussing something, what am I discussing? And then why? If I'm discussing something, why? If I'm recalculating something, why? If I'm reviewing something, why? So if you ask what and why, you will be writing a good substantive procedure. Is everyone clear with 16, 17, 18, and 19? We have done the 30 marks question. We looked into substantive procedure, reporting, risk, and knowledge. Is everyone sound? Are you getting some better approach to attacking section B in your upcoming exams? I will be coming up with 2 more sessions, each for a 20 marks question. One session on 20 marks question, and then another session on 20 marks question. And I'll be updating you if you want to join in the live session. Is everyone sound and clear with the approach we took? Is everyone sound with the reporting question on your screen? How many of you write this way? How many of you write the way I have written on the screen currently? Or have you identified some of your weaknesses? Tell me. Have you identified some of your weaknesses? Have you identified where are you going wrong? Will you address those weaknesses in the next couple of days you have for exams? So look at the structure, look at the way of presenting the answer. The purpose of this mock debrief is to guide you not just how to read and write, it's just how to present the answer, how to structure your answer. Because I've seen students writing very answers in a very bad presentation. Are you clear, all of you? So I'm winding up the session now, and I'll see you back with another session on the 20 marks question, followed by another one on 20 marks question. So this mock debrief gets over. Stay tuned, and I'll keep you updated. Thank you so much for taking your time out, coming into the live session, and I'll be sharing the recording shortly on my YouTube channel with all the answer I have written. Thank you so much. Take good care of yourself. Study effectively. Goodbye and Allah Hafiz.